Lift your head, feel the pride, we've come so far. A voice is strong, shining bright like a guiding star. Built with love, bound by truth, it's who we are. New journal and guide, we've raised the bar. Mighty hearts in our chest, we stand tall.
Welcome to NJGPOD, the official podcast of New Journaling Guide. Today we have a special guest, Dr. Eric L. Majette. Dr. Majette is a distinguished leader whose multifaceted career spans ministry, business, and community activism. As the senior pastor of New Life Church Global in Franklin, Virginia, he has been instrumental in revitalizing the church's role in the community, notably leading initiatives to eliminate the church's debt and spearheading projects addressing food insecurities. Beyond his pastoral duties, Dr. Majette is a seasoned entrepreneur and educator with over 35 years of experience in business development and corporate relations. He holds a bachelor's degree in marketing from Norfolk State University and a master's of divinity from Virginia University of Lynchburg. He also received an honorary doctorate degree from VUL. In 2023, he was appointed president of the NAACP Virginia Beach branch, underscoring his commitment to civil rights and community empowerment. Dr. Majette's dynamic leadership continues to inspire and effect positive change across various sectors. Stay tuned for Dr. Majette.
On every page, on every ground, with every heart, with every sound, together we'll rise and stand our ground.
Good day, Dr. Majette. How are you?
Man, I'm doing awesome. How about yourself, brother?
Awesome. Doing great. It's an honor to have you sitting here.
It's a blessing to be here, actually.
Wow. And I looked at all these things you've been involved in, and fortunately, I've been able to witness some of this stuff. Some of the later parts of your career, some of the closer stuff. You're of course older than I am, so I can't see everything.
Just 2 years. Just 2 years.
Oh, 2 years.
That's all. I'm 2 years older than you.
But you've done so much, and it's just an honor to have you here to tell your story, your journey on the NJG Pod. Did I miss out anything? Can you tell us more about your career and how you got here?
Oh man, it's been a journey for better words. It's been 40 years of building, 40 years of keeping my hands to the plow, building relationships from a corporate perspective as a young man coming out of Norfolk State University with a bachelor's in marketing and sales, and fortunately to be able to work for a Fortune 500 company and excel in that Xerox Corporation in sales and marketing. And my career just expanded from one area to another, from Raleigh, North Carolina to DC to Virginia, of course, and back here at home. It's been an amazing opportunity, an amazing experience, but it's been a lot of work that's been put in. A lot of people see what I'm doing now, but they don't know my story. My story is that it's been a lot of sacrifice involved in trying to get to this level at this point.
I can only imagine. And what motivated you to take the role at NAACP? That's a pivot, from your usual.
Yeah, that is a major pivot. I've always had a passion for community service. I've always had a passion to help those in the community, and I felt that with my leadership skills and my relationships and my networking and my ability to galvanize and bring people together was a great opportunity to help the NAACP not just grow in numbers, but also impact the community. For so many years, NAACP been around for many, many years. And I always say anything that don't grow eventually dies. And I saw an opportunity to help the organization, to help the branch, and to help our city and our community as well.
So what are your primary goals with the NAACP?
Number one is to make sure there's justice for all, that everyone is treated fairly, to also help people of color to be able to have the same type of opportunities as those other our ethnic groups, making sure our civil rights are protected, our voter rights are protected, educating the community as to what's happening within the community, getting engaged in the school system, making sure our schools are safe and there's no discrimination going on within our school system. Of course, policing is a big thing that's close to my heart, ensuring that we have good policing in our city and there's not a lot of um, uh, um, uh, violence or anything like that against Black, African Americans.
Yeah.
Also, just so many things, but also from a civil rights perspective, making sure that we understand the younger generation understand what we are facing in this climate that we are living in today. And my initiative is also to grow and make sure people go out and vote.
Yeah, vote is very important. A lot of people miss that. So many people died just to have that right to vote, and then and it's sad to see this younger generation not taking advantage of that and just allowing things to happen. So that's a very important task. I want to get into the school stuff because there was an incident recently that happened in Kempsville High School out of Virginia Beach.
Kellum.
It was something dealing with the racism.
Kellum High School.
Kellum High School?
Yes.
So
Kempsville had an incident as well. Both had an incident. Kempsville had one as well as Kellum.
Wow. So, I mean, what are your insights? Can you share something about that?
Well, I've had an opportunity to meet with the superintendent for the schools and talk with them about what took place. They took immediate action.
It was a racial incident.
It was a racial incident. Was one Black kid and several white kids had done something racially against this Black kid. But it's still under investigation. We don't know all what took place, but we are actually now very involved with that situation. NAACP, our branch, until the investigation is complete, we'll know more, and then we'll know exactly what to do from there. But I do know that the kids that committed the incident has been suspended from school.
Okay.
They're no longer in school until further notice.
Wow. So is it hard to try to get into? I mean, I can imagine so many different things are coming at you guys, and then some of these institutes want to protect their name. So is it hard to get into these places and really get information, or I mean, are they just open to you? Like, hey, we understand this happened. Come on in. We or
well,
is it more pushback?
It's both ways. Sometimes when we go in with the force. It's NAACP. We fight, and we're very transparent. We seek transparency in every case, in every situation. There are some times when we go in, we feel like that we are not getting the information that we need. And there are times we go in and we feel like, hey, they put the truth on the table. They were transparent about what happened, but we still investigate the situation. Whether they give us information or not, we validate the information. We have a legal redress team, and that's where their responsibility is to look at all these different issues that's going on. And then we get together as a team and say, how can we support this, or what do we need to do to fight against this, and start putting a plan of action in place.
Wow. That's impressive work. And I can see I would lose sleep.
I do.
I mean, doing as much as you do, and then getting so emotionally involved.
Yes.
This is a big undertaking. Just trying to advocate for the Black community. And so I'm going to kind of go off of one of the questions. This is something that's always dear to me. I like to ask this question. And anyone who's dealing with civil rights and culture, what do you feel the state of, and this is because the racism issue. What do you feel like the state of integration is at now?
The state of integration right now is at a point of being jeopardized. Okay, of course, the climate that we're living in now, with them trying to take away our rights, they try to take away everything that Martin Luther King them stood up for many, many years. They're infiltrating our school system as well. When I grew up, I grew up in an era when desegregation had just kind of started. You know what I mean? So now you got integration. This integration to my race, right? Integration of race that's come together. And then another thing too is that we have to realize that people are people, and everybody should have the right and the freedom to do what they want to do in line with the law, in line without offending someone else, whether it's integration, desegregation, whatever it looks like. Okay, but they should have that right as a human. And I think we get caught up into the white thing, the black thing, which is true. It's truth out there. You know what I mean? And I tell people all the time now, I don't know why I'm saying this, and maybe for somebody that's listening, if you don't see what's going on now, you're absolutely lost. Because it's right in our face. They're not putting it behind us. They're now putting it in front of your face. At first they would hide it. But now it's just like, out. Here we go.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
I mean, so just being a person who is from poverty, me personally, I'm from a low income area, and what I realized growing up was there was this cultural thing, it was acting black, culture thing, and I didn't see anything other than that. So when I went out and started venturing to other neighborhoods and started experiencing, had interacting with other different people, different cultures, I realized, wow, some of these cultural habits that I have it's not productive. That make any sense?
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
So and now some were. So I guess it takes a self-aware person to begin to pick and choose things that are haphazard within your culture to be a better citizen in general, and it's just like a mindset change.
Right.
So and I see that you're doing all this with your pastoral, the entrepreneurial part, so you're helping people religiously. You're trying to find economic relief for people, and you're fighting for their civil rights. Like how? What energizes you to do this? Like,
who is that guy you're talking about? I just realized I need to find him.
Oh man, you're doing a lot here.
Yeah. So what was your question again?
I'm just trying to figure out, where do you find the energy to do all this? Like, how you?
Well, put it to you this way: a lot of people ask me, "How do you do all that you do? TV interviews, you shift from the business world, you shift to the education, you shift again." God has gifted me to be able to operate in different systems, and what I mean by that is that I have been blessed with the gift to be able to shift and pivot, from entrepreneurship into the civil rights into education, from education, back into ministry, so my whole life is pivoting, and I've been blessed to have the energy that he's given me, because this is one of the things I say. When you are assigned to something, he endorses it, he blesses it, he gives you every resource you need to fulfill it. So everything in my life is an assignment. I don't look at my real estate business as a job. That's an assignment. I'm blessing people. I'm helping people get into become homeowners. I'm helping families and kids and helping them generate generational wealth. Then I shift to the church. I'm helping them grow, develop mentally, spiritually, okay? And bringing creative resources outside the box to the community, and then blessing the community. You see how this is flowing? Then I jump from there. I go over to the boards that I sit on, like Norfolk State University Athletic Foundation Board and the Seaport College Board. They're building a whole beautiful college right now. So you have to be able to pivot and be able to shift. But when you are assigned to something, God will give you everything you need to fulfill that assignment.
Amen. I want to pivot back to the voting rights, because that is something that's I noticed that a couple of other branches of NAACP are advocating for. What are you guys seeing
Wow, that's a loaded question. You know, we've been fighting continuously for this 10-1 voting system in the city of Virginia Beach. This is the first time in history that we were able to get several um, Black um, on city council. With the 10-1 system, you don't have to run a citywide campaign, so it makes it fair. You don't have to have a whole bunch of money to run a citywide campaign, and also it gives the community in each district, those that live in that district, an opportunity to really meet and work with their council person. Um, so we've been fighting that, and we're still fighting it right now. But it gave us the most diverse council in the city of Virginia Beach, in the history of Virginia Beach. The at-large system that they had before, the judge had ruled that system was illegal for 50-some years.
We'll explain to people who don't know, like me.
Well, at-large means that you vote, you're on the ballot.
Okay.
And you're on a citywide campaign, whole city, which means whatever you don't have to live in my district to vote for me.
Okay.
Kind of got me?
Yeah.
You don't have to live in my district to vote for me.
That's interesting.
Right? But with the 10-1, it's districts.
Okay, you can vote your own person
in that district,
representing your
district.
Versus.
And so, as me running for office, I don't have to have money to run a whole campaign for the whole city.
Gotcha. Okay, you can just vote. You can just run for your district.
Run for your district.
Got it.
Your district.
So this is like gerrymandering. This is part of that gerrymandering.
Yes, pretty much.
Wow.
Right. So it makes a big difference, and it gives us more diversity.
Well, we're going to take a break right here, and when we come back, we're going to dive a little deeper into the ministry. NJGPOD, right back.
Our truth is found.
For over a century, the New Journal and Guide has been the heartbeat of Hampton Roads, delivering news that shapes our community and resonates beyond. As the South's oldest Black-owned newspaper, we chronicle stories that matter, from local triumphs to national milestones, celebrating the rich tapestry of the African-American experience, history, present, and future in one subscription. Stay informed and empowered. Subscribe today at thenewjournalandguide.com.
And we're back. We have Dr. Eric Majette. Could you elaborate on your concept of marketplace ministry?
Yes. The Lord had given me, had spoken to me some years ago about ministry and the importance of marketplace ministry. Marketplace ministry is basically ministry outside the traditional four walls of the church. Ministry in the community. If you are a doctor or lawyer or student or school teacher, whatever your profession is, that's your ministry as a believer. Everybody's not going to be in the traditional pulpit. So marketplace ministry is where the resources are, outside the four walls of the church. Business owners, educators. You know, we don't spend all of our time in church. We spend 2 hours on Sunday, and the rest of our time is in the marketplace. Mm-hmm. So where should we be fishing? In the marketplace, right? Those are where the resources are, right? And sometimes we miss, as church leaders and pastors, we miss that because we're so focused on just the internal part of the church as opposed to the external church. Jesus went into the highways, the byways, got on boats and preached from the water, did all types of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He didn't just sit inside of a cathedral, right, and just teach. So we have to understand that the resources of marketplace ministry. So what I do is with marketplace ministry, our ministry, I teach others how to go into the marketplace and be successful in entrepreneurship. Because if they're successful in their business or successful in their career or successful in any area of their lives that they're pursuing, now they got what? They got resources to bring back to the local church.
And influence.
And influence to bring to the local church. right? So we all began to grow. We all began to have an opportunity to not just grow, we grow spiritually, physically, and mentally.
So it integrates faith with the professional life.
Integrate faith with professional life, the marketplace.
That's profound. What strategies do you believe are effective in inspiring and empowering the next generation of leaders within the African American community?
I think number one, truth, because the next generation of leaders, they have so much technology now. So whatever you say, it's got to be real. You know, they're not looking for someone to just preach to them. They're looking for someone that's going to lead them. You know what I mean? And I think that the inspiration is going to come from them understanding who they are, right, in Christ. Also, not just understanding who they are in Christ, but also teaching them about faith and having the faith to believe the impossible, right? And also, in addition to that, I think that the new generation, we're going to have to come and meet them right where they are without judgment. Meet them right where they are without judgment. They've seen so much stuff. They've seen so many things that haven't worked. And we still trying to get them to do that. Why do I want to do something that didn't work for you?
Yeah.
How you going to lead me if this didn't work for you? Well, it sounds good, but what did it do for you? Then this generation is like becoming more independent. I talk to my daughter all the time. We always joke about this. When I was growing up, and you was told to go to college, get a job, get the white picket fence, get the dog, get the cat, get the kids.
The apple pie.
And you're good.
Yeah.
Right? And you stay on that job until you retire.
Until you retire.
40, 50 years. Now, this generation, they don't stay on jobs until they retire. They have a different sense of what the word I'm looking for? A belief system. They would leave a job in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
With a mortgage.
It's like their priorities are a little different.
They would leave a
responsibility.
If they have responsibility, they'll leave a job with responsibilities. We was taught, don't you leave that job.
Yeah.
But what I do like about them, they're more creative now. And they're using their creative energies and their creative talents now to build their own. And you notice that most of them, even if they got a career, they still got something they're doing on their own.
Okay. So let me pivot just a hair. When I first met you, you was involved with the Christian Business Chamber of America, and you were receiving a lot of insight under the TD Jakes leadership. How has that shaped your perspective on leadership?
A lot, 100%. I've been with under Bishop Jakes now in leadership for the last 15 years, maybe, something like that. And he's always taught us to lead. You can find a great preacher to preach, but great leaders are hard to find. So you lead the people. And one thing that he told me that I'll never forget was, he said, don't try to build a church. Build the people, and the people will build the church. A lot of times we trying to build the church. He said, build the people, and the people will build the church.
That's profound.
That's prophetic.
Yeah.
That's powerful. And I got that concept. And I understand that leadership requires you to be able to work with different people from different ethnic groups. And the more commercialized you are, the more successful you are. I also believe that and was taught that the quicker you can recover, the more successful you would be, which means that if something happened, you have to adapt to change quickly. Some people hammer them hard. As a leader, you have to adapt to change all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, things are changing. The environment is changing. The climate is changing, right? So as a leader, you have to be able to adapt to change. And the quicker you can adapt, the more successful that you normally would be.
What kind of stress relief tactics do you have? I mean, because it's hard. I got a little small company, and I get stressed out quickly. I be in there want to throw stuff. I'd be hanging the phone up and saying other stuff to people, to myself, but it's just stressful. How do you
I handle
deal with
stress.
that?
It's a lot of stress, absolutely. And I'm learning now. I'm learning now to pull back and have a self-care day. And Mondays is day my self-care day. That's the day I take care of me. That's the day I go and get my hair cut. I go and get my pedicure, manicure, what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I chill, with me
Yeah.
just to decompress and release some of the stress. But also you got to have someone in your life that you can go to and you can vent without being judged. You can say whatever you want to say, and they're going to let you say what you want to say.
Yeah.
But they're not going to judge what you're saying. And then they're going to come back and tell you the truth.
Do you feel like this is where the family come into play? 'Cause
Absolutely.
If you look at history, back when the Black family was stronger, there were less violence, less stress. Because to me, like I said, I grew up in these neighborhoods, and majority of the crime and the things that was happening were either things done out of desperation or, just traumatic experiences or just stress. But they were mostly single family home. I was blessed. My father stayed around, but which I know helped me. But the Black family, just hearing you say that should be someone there to listen to, and your spouse, sometimes a kid, one of your kids, could be that person. Because me and my dad, we talked a lot, and just want how.
Yeah, I think
does that relate?
that's a very great question. One of the things I did with my kids was I gave them the freedom to come to me and tell me anything. Anything, and because I'd rather hear it first than hear it from someone else.
Yeah.
So the relationship now is a relationship of, hey, this what happened, this what I did. Now I can give them, counsel. But the Black family itself is powerful.
Yeah.
Because we stick together, we stay together, we pray together. When one come out of alignment, they got somewhere to go, and another brother or sister. Like my daughter is probably one of my biggest, supporters that I talk to all the time.
Yeah.
And I listen to her. Guess why I listen? Because she's in that generation that I'm not in. So she understands that generation. If something happened, why it happened, potentially happened, and trying to give me advice.
That's beautiful. So it's a trade.
It's a trade.
Yeah, that's kind of.
But then when she needs something, when she need to do something, make a big business deal, like buying that new car she just bought, she come to me.
Yeah. You're the business guy.
Right. So I'm a business guy.
Yeah.
She never want to buy a house. She can go buy a house. I'm a realtor. I own a real estate business. So she come to me.
That's amazing.
But when I go to her and say, hey, look, can you give me some insight on what took place with this incident? And she said, Dad, blah, 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 because she's a journalist herself.
Okay.
She's into the news herself, global news now. But going back to the Black family, I think is so important. And I thought about this one day. I thought about what happened to the days when you were growing up and it was time to eat dinner. If you didn't eat dinner then, you didn't eat dinner at all. We used to have conversations at the table.
Yeah.
That was the place where everybody brought information in the family, right? That's what we dealt with issues, was at the kitchen table.
Yeah.
At the dinner table. You remember that?
Yeah, I still practice that to this day, because I do. My fiance, she works in a restaurant, so when she come home, I try to make sure she don't have to do all this cooking, and I make sure that we eat together. That's because I do see the importance of eating together. Everybody coming home, everybody's relaxed and waiting for the food, and it's just that moment. If nothing else that day happened, we came together.
That moment. That moment also, you get into figure out how your day was, what happened. But now, nobody's really doing that, so everybody's everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I remember them days. We'd come home for dinner, get out of school, food was ready, and everybody ate at the same time.
So do you feel like that's a good starting point for for some of these broken homes? You know, like,
I think it's a great starting point because people like food.
Food brings some people together.
Food bring people together, and most people try to relax when they're eating.
Yeah.
Right? So that's an opportunity to do what? Is also to let your guard down. How you become comfortable, right, with one another.
Yeah.
And then the food kind of helps out.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Something simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
What upcoming projects or initiatives are you most excited about with the NAACP and the New Life Church?
With the NAACP, one of the things we're really excited about, we have a thing that we do every year, and it's called the Freedom Fund. And on October the 11th, we have a Freedom Fund Gala that's coming up right here in Virginia Beach. I'm excited about that. I'm also excited about, number one, the amount of growth that we've had and continuously to have with the NAACP Virginia Beach branch. On the church side, you probably already know that, you know, we made history last year. We are the first church in the entire country that partnered with the food bank, and they growing their own produce on 58 acres of land that we allocated 20 acres to the food bank for the first time in history.
Wow.
So we have a partnership with the food bank, Kroger food stores, Elijah Bonds, which is the farmer, which is one of the most traditional farmers in America that has been on the History Channel.
Wow.
So that partnership, the first year we yielded 300,000 ears of sweet corn.
This is in Franklin.
It's in Franklin, Highway 58. Then we turned around last year and we harvested 20 acres of collard greens, cabbage, peanuts, watermelons, cantaloupes. And this food goes to the food bank, and they distribute this food across the food banks across the state of Virginia.
That's amazing.
So we did quite a few stories last year. Documentaries came out, 13 News came out, Channel 10 News came out, and I just found out a few months ago that this was rated the #1 story on Channel 10 News.
Wow.
And they sent it up for a national award. So we're excited about that.
That's amazing.
And now harvest, spring is coming now. Harvest is getting ready to start again. And we have people that come from all over Hampton Roads to help harvest on Harvest Day.
Wow. If you had a message that you wanted to resonate through time, what would that be?
Are you willing to sacrifice for the vision that God has given you? Which means anytime you have a vision, the Bible said, write the vision. Then it said, make it simple, make it plain, so that those who read it may be able to run with it.
Mm.
So my thing is, everything you heard me talk about, all the things you said about me, things I've accomplished, has been a tremendous sacrifice. I gave up personal things. I gave up relationships. I gave up quite a few things to sacrifice for what I said and I believe that God told me to do. Can you do the same thing? In order for it to come to pass, there's got to be a sacrifice first. Jesus was the ultimate one that sacrificed for us, knowing that he was going to go to the cross, knowing that he had the command from the Father. Even on the cross, he was still saying, if God forgive them, for they know not what they do, which means that you don't beat my butt, you got me hanging on the cross, and I'm still looking down and saying, you know what, forgive them. Can you forgive those that cross you? Don't get me preaching up here, man.
Well, that was it for us there. So I really appreciate your time. And thank you so much for coming in, Dr. Eric Majette.
Voice is strong, shining bright like a guiding star. Built with love, bound by truth, it's who we are. New journal and guide, we've raised the bar. Mighty hearts in our chest, we stand tall. Through the storm, through the night, we won't fall. Every step, every breath, we give it all. In unity.